What up everybody, it's KLTOYBOX. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Sentinel Riobot 1/12 scale action figure of Tekkaman Evil from the series Tekkaman Blade. This was sent to me by Entertainment Earth for review, and I'm really excited to unbox this guy and take a closer look at him. So without further ado, let's do that. Taking a look at Tekkaman Evil, and as far as aesthetics go, this guy is a 10 out of 10. He looks fantastic. That black and red color scheme doesn't really go wrong in any way, shape, or form, so it fits this guy perfectly. The silhouette is really nice and powerful, as well as the details in his armor itself being really crisp and well done. There's no real QC issues that I've found on my copy of this particular release, but let's take a quick look at him 360, and you can see some of the really nice details that go into this, in particular, this release. He has a lot of nice features as well. When we get into the articulation, you can see more of that, but overall I just really love this dude. He looks fantastic and he's a lot of fun to play with. All the joints have been really tight, but before we get into the articulation, let's take a look at some of the accessories this guy comes with. Makes my life a little bit easier, and I know you guys want to see how dope this guy looks in some photos anyway. So without further ado, let's do this. Figure comes with 4 pairs of hands, not including his fist hands that he comes with, as he also comes with this lance, as well as it's in another form, and these smaller blade weapons. These are all really sharp, but also really durable and can have multiple configurations if you so choose. But lastly, he also comes with his own display stand and this little piece to replace one of the pieces on his armor, so you can use said display stand. But let's take a look at his articulation. Now we'll take a look at some of his articulation. We'll bring him in close so you can look at his head. His head can move forward and backwards pretty nicely. He can do a full 360 degrees, and this little piece in the back of his helmet does get held up a little bit, but there is a hinge on it so you can move it out of the way so it doesn't get hung up on the collar. You can also pull his head up, and that will give him some more range down here. He does have some movement side to side as well, so you can get him in some really nice poses. Bring him out of here. Now for the shoulders, they're on a nice ball joint and there is some give on each side. The shoulder pads are connected on 2 points here, so they do get in the way a little bit. You can slide this off and we'll take a look at it in a second, but I wanted to show you that you can get much more range when you remove that. And you can see more of the play in the arm. Bicep swivel is nice. Mine's a little stiff, but it works nonetheless. There is a double jointed elbow, which like this gets you about this much, but if you rotate the gauntlet, which is also on a swivel, you can get a lot more articulation out of that. And the wrist is on a really nice ball hinge, the way the hands are set up, so you can get a lot of nice motion, and you can get him in some sword holding poses, so that's really nice. And we will move to his upper torso, which here has a forward and backwards hinge, which isn't a lot of motion, but it does help. There is also a cool design here. If I hold this, you spin this and that whole portion moves. And then there's also a nice ball down here, so he gets a lot of nice range. Coming to his legs, they kick up this far, but you can extend them down and they kick all the way up, which it like actually functions, which is nice. He has a thigh swivel, which works pretty nicely. It's a little bit stiff on this leg, and this knee, and double jointed, so that works really nicely. You can also drop down the ankle, and that will reveal some more articulation here. So when you drop that down, there's a little piston right there, and it gets you a little bit more range, so this doesn't block it up. He has a toe hinge, which both are a little bit loose but still hold his weight, and it can rock forward and backwards. So this guy is packed with some really nice articulation. He's a little bit fiddly just because of how sharp some of the joints are, but as far as quality control, I've dropped him by accident a couple of times and none of his spikes have broken, which was the main concern for me. But no, I'm good. He's pretty sturdy. I'll show you how that arm gimmick works here in a second, if I can stand him upright. There we go. And you take this, which you can flail out. I'll show you on this side. You can flail out. Oh, I took it off instead, but it just slides back into place. Sometimes there we go. That just snaps back into place. and you can kind of put these cool little claw things out, but that's not necessarily what they're for, but it is something that you can do. You take this and you open it up and fold this up. Here, there's this little tab, and on each of his forearms, there's this little tab right here, and you line that up. I normally just use his fist hands because it makes it a little bit easier for these to attach. That clips into place, and you kind of have this monster arm. But wait, there's more. You fold that back up, close it, and the blade accessory, the mini ones that I showed you before, slot into that hole like so. They do only go in one way. And now he has this cool blade weapon for his arm, so he doesn't have to use his main weapon necessarily. So that's pretty cool. Obviously you can do it, you can dual wield them on both sides, but I wanted to show you that. So let's get this guy into some really sweet poses, and we'll wrap up this video with a comparison. Let's do it. And lastly, here is a size comparison with the Lightning Collection Dino Fury Red Ranger, the Venom from the Null and Venom 2-pack, Red Ecliptor, and the Lightning Collection Eye Guy from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And that will give you a rough estimate of how tall he is. Obviously, to the top of his spike, he's about the same height as him. If you extend his legs, you get about an inch, so it makes him roughly around 7.5 inches. And with the point, it comes to roughly about 8, almost 8.5 inches with those leg joints and ankle joints, as well as the head joint extended. But this will just give you a kind of nice idea of how he scales in with other things, as well as a nice color palette to complement him as well. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be sure to come back soon with another one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys again.